Friday marked Ukraine's 100th day of war against Russia. The devastation is clear from the images of destroyed cities and bodies in the streets. President Zelensky says at least tens of thousands of civilians have died, and the true toll of this war has been harder to calculate. Ali Rogan spoke with one Ukrainian living in Kyiv about the reality of the ongoing fighting.
Joining me now is Igor Novikov, an entrepreneur and former advisor to President Volodymyr Zelensky. Mr. Novikov, thank you so much for being here. You have been in Ukraine largely for the last 100 days, along with your family. What has that been like for all of you?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Well, it was incredibly surreal. I mean, I think sooner or later I'm going to write a book about this experience, because nothing in this world can prepare you for the cruise missiles, for that, brutality and barbarity like happening 15 kilometers away from your house. From that uncertainty, kind of not knowing whether the Russians are actually going to get to the part of Kiev you're staying with your kids at or not. So, yeah, it was surreal, but it was also a lesson.
And what would you say are the lessons that you have learned so far now that we're 100 days in?
Well, first of all, expect the unexpected. There was a lot of talk about this war, but, one thing is talking about it and being sure it's going to happen. Another is waking up that first morning to the sound of a cruise missile landing like 10 kilometers away from you. So that was the first lesson. The second one was you really need to kind of cherish every moment and kind of have meaning to what you do. Because, life can take U-turns unexpectedly again. So thirdly, and probably most importantly for me, I thought of myself as a decent father, but, I was really bad at it. And, given that second chance, actually kind of going through this experience, I've reevaluated everything.
A unique parenting experience, to be sure. I want to turn to the pace of the war itself. I know you have said that you believe this summer is going to be decisive in terms of the direction of the war. So I want to ask you about this. Why do you believe that this summer is going to be decisive?
Well, first of all, it's a completely different war. I use two terms to describe it now, and they might sound a bit dramatic, but it's true. It's become a slow and boring war. Slow because, the front is quite short at the moment. So, most of the fighting is happening in Donbass, and the intensity has increased quite a lot, quite dramatically. Why the war is boring is because it's happening, it's 100 days already, and people looking elsewhere. So, and as people start to lose interest in this war, it's an invitation for Russia to to go further. If Putin has operational or tactical success in the battlefield, if he manages to drag this war out up until October or November, the winter is coming. So the European Union will once again be blackmailed with, utility bills and gas supplies and everything. And he's going to try and create as much chaos as possible. I think we're going to see a major hybrid attempt at destabilizing global economy, from Russia. They've taken hostage the world food supply pretty much, with blocking, Ukraine's grain exports. But I think with the situation, with everything that's happening in the economy, if Russia attacks supply globally, that's going to create a very painful situation for the ordinary people elsewhere outside of Ukraine. And once again, that would be the test of whether we're going to stay united and we're going to see this war through to Ukrainian victory.
In the time that we have left, I want to talk about the fact that President Biden and Zelensky have both said that they believe the only way this war ends is by diplomatic means. But how far away do you believe that level of diplomatic talk remains?
Well, my personal assessment is that we're probably, the furthest away from a diplomatic solution that we've ever been during the course of this war. Why? Because, the situation on the battlefield determines the outcome of the diplomatic dialogue. And at the moment, the determining factor on the battlefield is uncertainty. There's nobody can say for sure what's going to happen in this war within the next few weeks or months. So I don't personally see that avenue just yet. But I fully agree with the president's. Every war in human history sooner or later ends in diplomacy. Unconditional surrender is also diplomacy.
Igor Novikov, former advisor to President Zelensky and entrepreneur, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.